Welcome to Destination Divergence. Last time, y'all went to court, and you got out, thankfully, in significantly less time than you thought you were going to. There were some descriptions of previous court battles here that have lasted years, and you don't have that long, so you were a little bit worried going in. You made a deal with the devil in order to get out a little bit more quickly, and you only have to do a simple favor for him. He would try to make your sentence lighter, try to work with you on the tasks you need to get done on this plane, and all of that. So, despite some of your party not being super enthused by that idea, you went along with it, and went swiftly. You were sentenced to a single 8-hour shift of a task of the devil's choosing, and he chose for you all to go and work at the Panopticon for a short bit. Your task would be to well, I guess I should back up and describe the Panopticon first, which is a place where you do lots of observation. The workers at the Panopticon are constantly looking into whether it's scrying orbs or scrying pools or just endless amounts of scrying on many, many different locations across all of the planes. It is a massive information gathering facility. It is primarily tasked with monitoring for information, not intervening in any way, but it helps feed the records that run the courthouse that you all just left recently. The devil had even previously mentioned the possibility of some of those records coming up in court if you wanted to slow things down, but those did not come up, and the devil's task for you is more specifically, sort of reading between the lines of the contract he had you all sign. You would be assigned to essentially report the minimum effort on your information gathering. He would ensure that you were placed on specific shifts that would give them a bit of a gap in the security system, effectively, by you only writing down things that were culturally known to you, was the wording on the contract, because you were replacing the Motron workers because they have no concept of culture at all. And he assumes that if you follow the letter of that contract exactly instead of the spirit behind it, that you'll essentially be able to write down nothing if you don't see any culture you recognize at all, like if you're viewing a different plane and it's all completely different. That will give them an opening in the security system. They can go on and do their nefarious shit, and well, it's all totally technically legal TM. And yeah, that's the current plan. He gave you a pass in order to go on the rail system nearby, which is called the Prime Gate, and it connects to all other parts of the plane and even to other planes if need be. A rail system of cars that hang down beneath an electric rail send the cars of the train flying towards a portal that they then disappear into. But while you're at the station, you recognized a familiar face. Well, familiar to Milos at least, and the rest of you would soon learn who they were. This was Bell, a very high-ranking devil of the underworld, who was not very happy with Milos at the moment due to some contract issues, we'll say. Bell has not been happy with Milos's upholding of the contract. The contract has been broken, and Bell is mostly angry. He was recently in court trying to see if he had any power to salvage anything from this deal. Turns out he did not, so all he really wants is probably to get revenge on Milos. Doesn't seem like he has any other goal than violence in this situation. So he blew up the train station. As you were departing, he joined your train.
As you do.
And used his 9th level spell slot to cast Meteor Swarm, derailing the train. Or, well, actually, you're still on the rail, I suppose, but stopping the train, severely damaging it, causing you all pretty severe harm, but not killing anyone or knocking anyone unconscious outright. And then he began marching up the train, summoning other devils to fight alongside him, casting fireballs willy-nilly, and trying to cast all of his most powerful spells on Milos as he goes, because he's, again, very focused. In the meantime, the local guard have approached. It took them a couple rounds to get here. They're not instantaneous, but they have ever since been on initiative count 20, trying to teleport Bell away to a prison cell. But unfortunately, he has legendary resistances, so while they've been whittling away at those, he has not been teleported away yet and is still very much a threat. You are all currently on a train car with a giant robot Meko that Milos has summoned, who has broken through the ceiling Kool-Aid Man style. There is an ice devil that Bell has summoned, and it has cast a wall of ice behind you so that you cannot run deeper into the train. And Clemens has cast a globe of invulnerability around herself and is hovering up near the roof of the train so that there's at least one square of invulnerability poking down into the train. And as a reminder for what that spell does, any spell cast from outside it cannot actually like target things inside that circle, I believe, is that works.
Yeah, I'm gonna share it in chat for easy reference.
Awesome, thank you. That is the current situation. I've managed to keep the tracker from last time going. So it will currently be Carrick's turn, and while you go ahead and describe what you're doing for your turn, I'll get the music switched over and all of that. But yeah, here we go. Welcome back to Train Combat.
Hell yeah.
Train
So
man.
remind me, I believe last we left off characters right in front of Bell. Is it Bell is his name?
Bell is his name, yep. B-E-L.
But with one L.
Yep.
The Beauty and the Beast.
That's right. So I believe, yes, Carrick was up front. I think Milos was also up front. I think it was Faye and Clemens in the back.
Yeah,
and
that
Clemens
sounds right.
moved up so that Faye could be in the one spot
Yes,
of...
I was, trying to stop just lots of passive fireballs from hitting Faye.
Yes, that makes sense. So Faye is currently covered. Just for user tracking, let's put Faye in one of the squares there. And Carrick not in one of the squares there. Cool.
All right. I'll just keep swinging.
Alrighty. That's a hit. Alright, couple hits. Yep, all 3 hits. My damage. Boop.
And -1 from the last one.
Thank you. I'll give him 1 more health back. That's a pretty good round. That 70 health, 60 health? 70 health.
Oh yeah.
Good stuff.
Not bad, King.
Anything else on your turn, Carrick?
That will do it.
All right. Let me double check something here.
While we're between rounds, by the way, how's everyone doing on HP? How
I'm
far
at
down?
a little bit below half.
I'm also
Okay.
a little below half.
Clemens is at 100 out of 150.
Okay.
I'm also at 100.
Mm,
I think this
Okay.
is what Bell would do in this
86.
situation.
Oh, no.
You're starting to
No.
dig into his hit points a little bit. He's not super happy about that. It's clear to all of you that you are starting to wear down on his own physical strength, and he's clearly used up several high-powered spells trying to capture Milos with various either paralyzing spells or spells that would physically bind him, or so on and so forth. So he's used up a lot of his resources at this point. But he's clearly very, very determined, and he is a tactician, so he is going to use up all 3 legendary actions to summon another Ice Devil.
bro.
Who I will now roll initiative for. And it goes at the end. Perfect. So that is all 3 of his actions. The Ice Devil's currently behind him, blocked from fighting, but it is another force in combat. Milos, you're up.
All right. I'm gonna cast haste on myself.
Okay.
And I will use my bonus action to command Meko. Hold on, I need the stat block because I closed it for some reason. To make a force empowered rend.
All right.
17 shouldn't hit, right?
17 does not hit, assuming you're targeting
Excellent.
Bell. I don't think it hits.
Bell,
either,
yeah.
But yeah, no, it does not hit.
All right. And then I will attempt to stab using the burning dagger in my hand
Okay, as your hasted action.
as my hasted action. Yes.
That makes sense.
All right. All right. That'll
Ooh,
miss.
unfortunately, also not a hit. What's your modifier though? 8? Yeah, because one of your rolls I forgot to mention again. First roll of every
right.
turn is a 10.
That's a 20
that's
then.
I know that's an annoying thing to keep track of, but yes. A 20, yes, that'll hit.
Woo. All right.
I guess that means Meko also hit. Because it would should have been a 10
yeah,
instead
that
of
would be
a
a
5.
22.
Yeah.
Cool. Mecha's damage is 14 force.
All right.
And my damage is 5 piercing. That seems low. Oh well. And that's all.
Oops. Time to move him. All right. Yeah, daggers, unfortunately. Not a lot of damage unless they do other things. Cool. It is then this Ice Devil's turn. Let's see, there's already a wall of force, not a wall of force, a wall of ice behind you all, trapping you in, excuse me. So it is going to instead, yeah, I think it's going to focus on Meko for the moment. Because Meko is big and
Meko.
in the way. So it's going to roll an attack. First attack is it rolls a 10 on the die because of the feature of the thing. I forgot about that. So 10, that's a 20 to hit total.
Yeah, that'll hit.
Okay. So if that hits, it's just going to keep attacking Meko. So it has 3 attacks. All of them are going to be 20 to hit. So that's all 3 hits. I'm just going to add up the dice here. Actually, I can roll them in Foundry. This will make it easier. Yes. Okay, so I roll that, and that. Okay, so that is a total of 51 damage to Meko.
Yeah, Meko falls apart.
Okay. That is, does Meko have any damage
No.
distances? Because that's partially cold, partially piercing.
Just resistant to poison.
Okay, cool. So yeah, that'll take Meko down to normal Neko size then, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so now you've still got Neko on the field, but giant Meko is no more. That is all of the attacks of the Ice Devil, and we move on to Faye's turn.
Right. Riddle me this. How close in proximity are our 3 adversaries here?
Very close. Bell and the other Ice Devil are basically like shoulder apart, like in the train car with you. Like here, I'll like they're basically physically like this on the field.
Okay.
So they're all pretty much touching each other.
All right. That's great. So in that case, I'm going to peek my little peeper outside of the immortality or the bubble, the thing. And I'm going to drop a hypnotic pattern on top of all 3 of them.
All right.
And just to be clear, you can cast from within the globe of invulnerability just fine. It's just spells from outside it that are 5th level or lower do not affect creatures that are inside it. And that's spells that are 5th level or lower on paper. Upcasting them to above will not change that weakness.
Okay.
Makes sense.
Magic.
Magic!
Love to see it. All right, so that's gonna be a big ol'
No. 1 second. So I mean, go ahead and cast it, but I just want to double check the properties of the plane here. Is this is this an illusion spell?
Yeah.
Okay. So its duration is halved, but it's still potent, which is fine. So that's probably fine, honestly.
Yeah, that's not gonna be a problem.
Just
here.
wanted to double check. Cool. So let's see. Yeah, you can hit all of them, avoiding your allies. Cool. Wisdom saving throw for each of them, and charmed is the condition. Okay.
I think it's not just charmed.
Well, it does other things, but the reason it says charmed as condition is so that if a creature is immune to charmed, it's also immune to that.
I got
But
it. I got
yes,
you.
but it is charmed, and then while charmed, it has additional rider effects.
Incapacitated and speed
Yeah.
0.
Okay, none of them are
5e.
immune to charmed, so that is good for you. Let's see. Yeah, Faye finally getting to use charm spells again. I feel like it's been a while.
It's been 300 years.
Wisdom saves for all of them. First Ice Devil is a 26. Second Ice Devil,
Bro.
a 27. Neither Ice
Oh
Devil
my
is affected.
god.
I'm
What
sorry,
are their
sorry.
wisdoms?
They rolled very high on the die, so
Okay,
less
well-
that their wisdoms are ridiculous, and more that they
They just kind of came out and busted it, huh?
yeah.
You haven't heard of the legendary riddles of the Ice Devils?
Exactly. Bell, on the other hand, rolled a 22, but he's going to choose to succeed. You burned a legendary resistance.
It's one more down, bitch.
That's one more down. Absolutely.
All according to plan. Alright. Then let's see. I will. Am I gonna get a little spice-roni here? Yeah. Let me. Oh, never mind. No, I forgot the property there. I will. Oh, actually, no. Sorry, I am gonna do a quickened firebolt at one of the ice devils.
Okay.
So, 'cause I feel like fire, probably good against ice. If we're going by, do I have advantage or?
So you probably just roll normally and then take your bonus plus
Oh,
10
the
as the other
fucking
one.
10.
I'm sorry. I know I didn't realize how annoying it would be coming in here, but I promise this was straight out of the book.
Well, we take
The 32
32
is very good. So against one of the ice devils, probably the one in front, I would assume.
Mhm.
Cool. So how did your feature work with resistance and stuff before? It was ignore resistance, right? But what does it do
Ignore
for immunity?
resistance.
Does it reduce immunity to resistance, or does it still do nothing?
I don't think we talked about that.
I don't
Oh.
think reducing immunity to resistance is a common pattern in 5e, is it?
I feel like I've seen it somewhere, but I just
Gotcha.
can't remember. Phase thing is homebrew anyways, so
Yep,
Fire
yep.
Flame specifically
Yeah.
ignores resistance, unfortunately. So yeah, you see the fire get close to this thing, and it's just got such an aura of cold air around it that the fire just gets quenched before it can reach the creature's actual flesh.
Pokemon has failed me. Okay,
Yep.
noted.
Unfortunate. Immune
Damn
to
you,
both
Game
cold
Freak.
and fire.
I concede. Pass turn.
Okay, Ice Devil in the back's turn. Ice Devil in the back is gonna hold his action and pass turn.
Okay. Quick side note, Jordan.
Yes.
I edited Bell's Talon to use intelligence based on my battle ready feature.
Ah, that makes a lot of
and
sense.
effects.
Yep,
So,
sounds good. Cool. That's a held action. Clemens, you're up.
All right. Clemens is going to fire at Bell.
Go for it.
Ooh. Unfortunately, the crit is instead of 10,
Yeah,
but that would have been real cool.
unfortunate.
So it's let's see, 13 plus 11
Yeah,
is
that'll do
24 to hit.
Yep. Apply damage.
And 1 second, I forgot to bring up my shortcut notepad.
No worries.
And 8 lightning, and I'll attack again.
All right.
And this is not affected by the 10, is that correct? Or is it every roll?
First
Becomes
roll
a
on your
10.
turn becomes
Okay.
10. Yeah, it's weird. So not every attack. But the reason it was Meko earlier was because of the whole double
Gotcha.
creature thing. Cool. So this is the 17 takes. Yep. All right.
And pass turn.
Pretty good.
Assuming that Faye is still in the same position, I'll remain in the same position. Otherwise, I'm going to move to try to keep Faye within the bubble.
Nope, I've stayed.
Cool.
All right. Let's see.
And just a reminder, if it matters, that I ignore resistances.
Yes, that is a good reminder. Thank you. You're using lightning damage, right? It's just piercing and lightning.
Yes, piercing
Okay.
and lightning.
So all of that makes it through. Um. Bell is going to step backwards, and he's going to step all the way back here, like probably up even higher a little bit, but I don't have room on the map anymore, so I'll move everything forward. Fuck it. But just visually representing the situation here a little bit. He's up behind this other Ice Devil. The other Ice Devil's held action triggers, which is a wall of ice he's going to place behind himself, blocking off your vision of Bell. So Bell is now obstructed by, let's see, can I place like a wall here? And then you're all like up here, there's another wall like there, and all the players are sort of in front of the Ice Devils here. Like, but yeah.
Makes sense.
Woo!
I think I understand.
Slight theater of the mind things, but here we go. That's what's going on. So Bell's disappeared behind a wall, and when he's back there, he's going to... You hear a spell being cast on the other side of the wall. But none of you have line of sight to him now, because the wall is in the way. So you know something was cast because he had to shout the arcane words and such. If anyone wants to try and identify it, I guess they could. But it would be a reaction.
I would love to do that.
Oh, I'd love to.
I'll save my reaction.
Yeah, actually, fuck that. Yeah, I'm gonna hold.
I'm not gonna save my reaction. I'll
Identify
try and figure it
spell,
out.
have no reaction for counter spell. Feels bad, man.
Yep. Teamwork. Or you can just burn counter spells and say, no, you can't cast anything. I don't care what it was.
Oh wait, but I can't counterspell, right? Because I can't see him.
Can't see him anyways, so yeah.
Yeah. Just want to make sure, because I sure would have.
Did you want to... sorry.
Yes, my
Arcana
list hit.
check. Sorry, thank you. I don't think I'd said that.
The first roll of a 10 no matter what, right?
Yes.
23.
23. So only hearing the words... yeah, I think that's still enough, honestly. 23 is pretty high. You hear that he was casting Mislead. That's a pretty big bit of information for you. Mislead is a spell that lets you become invisible and create an illusory double of yourself.
Oh.
So now that you know that he's cast that, that's a pretty big foiling of his plan there. Yeah, that was his turn in total, and so it becomes Carrick's turn. Oh, sorry. Initiative check. Initiative 20 thing. I mean. I don't remember if these things have true sight or not, I'll be honest. Now I'm struggling to... Is it... Hold on. Double checking the stat block.
feel like
They do not have
would
true
be in the
sight.
cops. Oh.
So they try to cast their banishment on his illusion, and they fail the cast. So that is wasted.
Roses.
He at least got out of that situation, but it is now Carrick's turn.
All right, so there's a big ass wall between us now, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, how about I just put people on the board so that we have something of an idea of what's going on here. Clements is here, but technically a floor higher. And yeah, that's basically the situation there.
Carrick will just say screw it and just start swinging at the ice devils.
Okay.
Ooh, that's a crit.
Yep, absolutely.
Yes.
Fine.
Gotta love that.
Fly damage. Thunder, lightning are not resisted. You're good. More damage in there. 24 is a hit as well. Yep.
And that's -3 on the last one.
All right. 3 hit points back. Sweet. This Ice Devil already looks pretty hurt after that turn. You fucked him up pretty good.
All right, that'll do.
All right. Milos, you're up.
All right.
Actually, I think as a legendary action at the end of that turn, the only thing you notice at the end of Carrick fighting this thing is that it seems like the icy armor on these devils starts to get thicker. But yes, now it is Milos' turn.
I will communicate to the party, and hopefully loud enough so that Belle can hear. He's invisible. And then I will cast Chill Shield. Yoink. And I'll use my hasted action to stab at the closest ice devil.
When you say chill shield, are you trying to get the cold resistance from it?
No, I'm trying to get the fire resistance from it.
Okay, fair enough.
Because if the shield is cold, then you get fire. It's
Yes.
weird.
No, it's fair enough. I was just double checking.
Yes.
Yep. So you have fire resistance in the chill shield. Yep.
And stab, attack, normal. That'll be a 23 to hit.
Yep. Oh wait, sorry. 23 to hit.
Yeah.
23. Yeah, that does hit. Yep.
All right. For 8 piercing.
All right.
And I will use my bonus action to command Neko to get in front of me, and you know what? I'm gonna have Neko use the dodge action.
Okay. So you technically have your bonus action
wait.
still.
No, never mind. I'm not, because 10s exist. Yeah. No, I'm good. I'll pass. Pass turn.
Okay, so Neko is taking the dodge action then.
Yes.
Okay, double checking. Sounds good. Ice Devil's turn. Let's see. Carrick just hurt it a lot, so it's gonna stab back. Let me hit all 3 of these. You have foresight on, right? So this is at disadvantage.
I do.
Okay, so it's the first one. It rolls a 10 first. And it takes the worst. 16 is not gonna hit, I assume.
Nope.
All right. Ooh, 12 is not gonna hit either, I assume.
Neko deflect attack one of these? Even though they're already at disadvantage?
I think it would just make them disadvantage again, right?
It would, but it also does a little bit of force damage.
Oh, okay, yeah. Just so any one of them, it doesn't matter which.
Yep.
Just apply the force damage.
8 force damage.
Cool. All right, and the last attack is a 23 to hit.
That is my AC. I will take the hit.
Okay. That is a total of 20 bludgeoning and cold damage. I can break that down if need be.
All right.
All right. So having missed twice and hit you once, it will end its turn. On its phase turn.
All right, gonna keep it simple this time. We're gonna do a twin heal on. Let's see. I think the low people were Carrick and Milos. So yep, 70 for each of yous.
Thank you.
You'll definitely take that.
When we take those, and then I once again hang out in my orb.
All right. The orb. The other Ice Devil is going to move up and finding Neko in its way. 1, 2, 3. So I can hit these quick. 28 to hit.
At disadvantage?
Oh, right. Dodge. Thank you. So the first roll out of those two was only 27 to hit. It rolled two very
Okay.
close together rolls, but yes.
That'll hit. That'll hit.
The second one is a 13. And the third one is a 21.
That'll also hit.
Okay, so 2 hits. The first hit is the bite attack for 23 total damage,
All right.
piercing and cold. And the third hit was the third attack, which was the second hit, is a tail attack. So it does a tail whip, does some bludgeoning and cold damage for 23 as well. Total of 46 damage. And it will end its turn there. Back to Clemens.
Clemens is gonna are other people currently in my bubble or just Faye still? I know we're like theater of the minding positions, but
Yeah, I
I
believe
just figured I'd double check.
how we described it before is you went up to the ceiling so that
Yes.
yeah, which put you so the bubble only reached 1 square on the ground, 10 feet below
Gotcha.
you.
If I slide down, can I get the other people in my bubble?
I think so, yeah.
I think Bell's far enough away that I'm not worried about him being inside my bubble. That was really my only consideration before.
If you hover essentially just 1 grid unit up over Faye's head, that would probably work to get everybody in it. I don't think you'd get Neko in it that way, but you'd get the other players.
Yeah, I will do that.
All right.
And then I'm going to blam an arrow at the Ice Devil who is in the middle of initiative.
All right. That does hit.
That will awesome. Whew.
All right. Let's see.
Oops, that was an attack roll, not a damage roll. Hold on.
Yeah, is that we
29.
could just count that as your second attack, I guess.
Okay, thank you.
Unless you want to crit fish,
I mean,
might as well, right?
yeah, might as well. Let me roll the damage for the first one.
Yeah,
first.
sounds good.
I mean, not that far off. That was a very good damage roll.
Double checking though, real quick. The bow does bonus damage only against your sworn target, right?
You are right. Thank you for the reminder. So yes.
So it's 11 so far.
Yes, it is. 11 plus the 8 lightning.
All right, 19 total.
Crit fishing, no crit. That is 6 damage plus the 4 lightning.
All right.
Pass turn.
Good. This Ice Devil is barely holding on at this point. Let's see. All right. Belle's turn passes uneventfully. Eric.
Back to me already.
Yeah, and because Belle is hiding and invisible again, the cops are unable to find him. But yeah,
I'll just keep trying to kill these devils.
All right.
And that's -3 on the last one.
Okay, so let me double check these. I was reading something else. So you're attacking the devils, 27 to hit. Yep. 34, obviously a hit. 25 also hit. Yep. Okay, cool. Double checking. They did get an AC boost recently, but that you're still heading over it. So 24, 22, and minus how much?
3.
Thank you. All right. So you managed to kill this ice devil in front of you with that last hit. Anything else, Carrick?
That'll do her.
All right. Milos is up. At the end of Carrick's turn, again, the thing shimmers with ice, but is otherwise nothing happens.
All right. Oh dear.
Oh boy.
I take a step forward while I remain in the invulnerability globe.
No,
out
it
of it?
is
Okay.
effectively this. Technically, it's if I lower the distance of it slightly, it's more like that right now. Because Clemens is up in the air and it's projecting down below. I would guess technically Clemens is on top of Faye, so it's more like this, but still.
Well. Oh well. I'm gonna have Meko walk up to get beside the Ice Devil, and I'm gonna walk up in front of it.
All right.
I know Belle's invisible because I figured out what the cast was. I'm gonna cast See Invisibility. Just in case.
Okay.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Do I see anything?
Not at the moment, no. As I have to
Excellent.
do some quick sightline calculations in my head here of the theater
Oh
of the
god,
mind.
oh fuck.
But no,
you-
at the moment I don't think you see it because like you Kool-Aid man through the roof. There's windows in the train. There's the wall in front of you behind you. I'm trying to think of all the places you could see anything. I don't think you see anything.
This
at
is
the
what
moment.
we need AI for. You need to give it a screenshot of an overhead theater of the mind and say calculate 3D sightlines. please.
Yes, true. Okay, but you do have that on you at least. You got that going.
Yeah. And I'm gonna hasted action stab. Attack.
Ooh.
Uh
First one would still be a 10 though. So
Yeah, it's like a 23.
yes. Wait, hold on. 23 you said?
Yeah.
Oh, well, that meets now. That meets this round. Yep, that's a hit.
Woo. You know what? I'll jolt that. Let's see, jolt for 15 force.
All right.
And I'm gonna have Neko use Force Empowered Rend. Wait, that's just a 10 because it's a different creature, and I'm dumb.
Yeah, so it should be a 21, right?
21, which shouldn't hit.
Which should not hit. Yep.
All right. Pass turn.
Oops, I skipped Faye. There we go. Faye's turn.
Rip fail.
All right. I will do the same thing I did just a moment ago, and try to just cast a what's it called? Hypnotic pattern, like in that same general area, and trust and believe that Belle is still within it.
Okay, I see what you're going for. Yep, that makes sense.
So you can still see.
Do we see a cartoony outline of Belle in the middle of the hypnotic pattern? Does that require us to look into the hypnotic pattern and subject ourselves
It
to
probably would, but also he would be beyond a wall anyways. If he was in that direction, hypothetically. So that's a wisdom save, yeah?
Indeed, 23.
Are you placing it so it hits the ice devil and potentially?
Yeah, 5 sure.
Okay,
That's my goal.
I think you can still hit it without hitting Neko, because just hit the back half of it. So, wisdom save. An 18. It fails. So it is incapacitated and charmed, right?
Yes.
Charmed.
So I'm just gonna call out, leave that one.
And incapacitated. All right. And it remains charmed unless it doesn't save again on its turn. It remains charmed for 5 rounds until somebody attacks it or shakes it out of its stupor. Cool. It is now its turn. So it passes its turn. Yes.
Quick question. When we killed the other ice devil, did the wall behind us fall?
That is a good question. Thank you. You are correct. The wall falls when the ice devil that cast it is incapacitated, which would mean this one also falls. But Belle is actually not there when the wall falls. Oh, I mean, technically, you see a figure of Belle running down the train car away from you, and when the wall falls, it looks back and like tries to duck behind something, taking cover. But because Milos already passed a check against that spell and has alerted the team, you know that that is very likely an illusory duplicate. But yes, so because it's incapacitated, the wall falls. Good check. Is there no more walls around you at all? Cool. I think that's that for that turn. Clements.
So the ice devil there is charmed, and we do not want to hit it, correct?
Yeah,
That was my goal.
Okay.
Yeah.
if you hit it, you will wake it up.
I'm going to move forward.
All right.
And not knowing where Bell is, I'm going to hold an attack and prepare to shoot him if I see him. Pass turn.
Okay, that makes sense. All right. Bell's turn again passes uneventfully.
All right, we got to start scorching the earth. It's the only way.
Eric.
All right. So, in an effort to not attack this thing, is there still a wall dividing us and the devil?
There is no longer because Faye's hypnotic pattern made the Ice Devil unable to maintain the wall.
Wonderful.
However, the bell you see in the distance, Milos has called out as being an illusion.
In that case, is there something I can do to like? Can I like use my action to make a perception check to try and find Bell?
Sure. Roll me a perception check. Are either of those below, or the first one below 10? It is, so it would still be a 21. Yep, 21 is accurate. You look around real quick, and yeah, the only bell you can see is the one down in the distance. You don't detect the telltale signs of an invisible creature walking around anywhere near you. You're unsure where he is.
Alrighty. Let me see. I'm not quite below half, so I will just start looking around for him. That'll be my turn.
All right. Now, Milos, as it comes to your turn here, you have seen invisibility, and correct me if I'm wrong, I don't think anyone else in the party has true sight of any significant range, right?
I do not.
Oh, wait, I think I do. Yeah, I have true sight 60 feet.
True sight 60 feet. Okay, so
You're just spacing out for the last couple of turns, like, oh wait, everybody else can't see him.
yes, so fortunately, yeah, continuity is not broken because the stealth checks were very high. But now on Bell's turn, it wasn't so uneventful, I will reveal, because Bell has been sneaking on the underside of the train, and on his turn rose up to the window beside Milos. But since it was neither Faye's or Milos' turn yet, I didn't want to give that information away yet. But now that it's becoming Milos' turn, and you can communicate, and you can see Bell is actually right fucking here outside the window of the train, holding his greatsword ready to stab it through the window at you.
Is the window still intact, or did it get shattered by the meteor swarm?
It's probably shattered. Yeah, that's probably pretty fair to say, or at least cracked.
Well, I want to not give away that I know he's there
All right.
at first, and then take 3 quick stabs.
Okay. I'm going to give him partial cover because you're trying to attack out through a window, but that still should be pretty easy.
All right. First attack is a 10. But it's at advantage, so it crits.
So it does crit.
Woo! Second attack, 24.
How about trust me and roll the damage on this first attack first?
Okay. I am also going to spend a charge of one of my soul coins to make the dagger treat Bell as celestial.
All right, absolutely.
Ooh.
So when I crit a celestial, it does 42 plus modifier damage, and I'm also going to arcane jolt.
Yes, and that is because it it deals an additional 3d6 damage, and all dice are maximized when it is hitting a celestial
Cool.
with a crit.
So let's see. It's Arcane Jolt is 8d6 on a crit, and
That is not maximized though. You still just crit that normally.
yeah.
Yep.
And then the 42, and then my modifier for damage on the dagger. Sorry, I have to scroll up.
Should be 7.
7.
Yeah.
So that's 84 damage.
All right. Yeah, that is more than enough.
Nice.
So Milos, how do you want to do this?
I want to turn slightly away. You know what? For dramatic effect, I'm just gonna stab right down between the horns as I glance back, and just flood Bell's skull with arcane energy.
You see him snarling, looking mischievous out through the window. This greatsword positioned to hit you from the shadows where you can't see, where it'll deal maximum damage. And that confidence in his face turns to dread the moment he sees you turn with the dagger, and the glowing blade reaches out to hit him. And before he can react, yes, Bell's skull is filled with energy, and he releases the train in order to clutch at his face as he falls back off the train down to the city below, and his head just explodes on the way down. And the Ice Devil is also it vanishes into a poof of mist due to being maintained by Bell during the combat.
Do I
so
get
you
a soul?
have escaped combat. You do indeed, as per
Hell
the terms
yeah.
of the agreement on the dagger. Do you get a soul coin for that? Is that right?
Mhm.
You turn
Yep.
his soul into a soul coin. All right, so his head explodes, and this hellfire rises up, swirling back in through the window, like the dagger is absorbing it, and you're able to pull that back into a fresh soul coin.
That's hilarious.
Very good.
And now I will sort you all back into where you should be on the thingy. Woo! But yes, you have escaped combat.
That was a
Yes.
very fun combat.
That
Yeah.
was
Thank you.
good trains.
Do you guys have a moment to do whatever here for a second? But there is still a lot of chaos around you. What are you guys doing immediately?
Clemens sits down and drinks some rum.
Absolutely.
Carrick gonna say, well, I guess that's taken care of. And he's looking around. Is like, are there like a bunch of like guard robots about to
Oh, yeah.
attack the place, or like rushing in or some shit?
Are they gonna take your soul coin into custody now that he's a soul coin?
I don't know. I'm gonna free the soul in my partially spent soul coin though, so I can carry
Yes.
a second one.
That makes sense. Unless you want to offload some debt to another player.
No, I'm not gonna
Like-
put them through that.
Yeah, here, anyone want to carry something that just is a physical manifestation of an emotional burden, please?
Clemens would love that. That's all that Clemens is about.
If Clemens would like that,
She'll give it to somebody as a tip later if it's physically possible without understanding what she's doing.
Miles would pop open a compartment on Neko and have her take one if she wanted.
Awesome. Clemens will totally take one.
All right, I will transfer a soul coin to Clemens then.
Thank you.
You still have those in your inventory, right, Milos? Let's see.
I've just
Yes.
been yeah.
Um,
I also had. I was
Excuse
just
me.
gonna take one out of Neko's journal because I have a journal entry.
okay.
in there.
Well, if you don't have a specific, well, you do have an item that has some text on it, so I'll just transfer
Yeah.
that to Clemens, because soul coins do have some mechanics. I'll just reduce the number here to 1, and yes, that should work. So soul coin can be used. It has 3 charges on it. You can gain a little bit of temp HP from a charge. You can ask the soul inside a question for a charge, or you can simply free the soul. And once all the charges are used up, the soul is freed either way. So
That's good to know,
actually,
thank you.
I wouldn't I wonder if consuming the soul for temp HP doesn't free it. I would have to double check that. If you just eat the soul for temp HP. But I think answering questions certainly does free it either way. You can only hold a number of soul if you're not an evil aligned creature, you can only hold a number of soul coins up to your constitution modifier without a bunch of negative side effects. But yeah.
Does the asking the question follow the same rules as the speak with the dead spell?
Essentially, yeah. You get three questions per soul. It knows what it knew. It knows what it knew in life at the time of its death. It doesn't have particular intelligence, etc.
Cool. Well, I'm just gonna flip the coin into my pouch, sit down on one of the heavily destroyed seats, and let haste fall off while I'm like gasping for air after all the damage that just happened to everybody.
Yes, yeah, exactly. Haste wearing off, you're fucking wiped out for a second. That makes sense. During that second where Milos is wiped out, unfortunately, it doesn't take too long for the other guard robots around that Carrick had mentioned to begin assessing the situation. They're initially scanning, trying to figure out where Bell was going. They saw him pop up, saw Milos kill him. They're currently like trying to calm down the other civilians on the train. They're going about their business normally, but a couple of them are currently outside your train car, and they kind of climb down to the outside and hold on to the outside of the train car on either side of you and begin speaking in through the broken windows. One of them on the side with the broken ceiling probably just leans in through the broken ceiling. Just kind of tilts its giant cyclops eye in through that. Says, "Citizens, explain yourselves."
If you saw the beginning of that, we were attacked out of the blue.
Can't you use that Panopticon thing and see the footage or whatever? We have a lot of feet between us. I'm sure you can see all of them. Would you like some rum?
The one of them has its eye roll back in its head, like you've seen many times here now. And while the other one continues speaking, says, "We will check on the records. You should know that drinking alcoholic beverages is not legal on the train between the hours of 7 and midnight."
What's the hour right now?
8.
Oh, well, thank you for letting me know. Just like one last very quick sip and then put the rum away.
The giant cyclops eye kind of squints at you a little bit, but it doesn't seem to bother too much. The other one, its eye rolls back into place, and it says, "The Panopticon saw the beginning of the fight. They were not the aggressors. In fact, they saved the train and the civilians on it. Orders from above are to let them free. They have important business." The other one immediately starts climbing back up the train and says, "Very well. Can you all make it to the gate, or will you require assistance?"
How far away is the gate?
One of them gestures down the train in the direction it was headed, and it's a few hundred feet down the line, away from where you are currently.
Oh, we can get there. It'd be nice to stretch my legs after all that excitement. What do you all say?
Sounds good to me.
Yeah, that's just fine.
Very well. And both Cyclops robots drop off the train and begin flying away. So, you are free to go about your business.
Clemens whips the rum out the moment her foot touches the outside ground.
No longer on the train.
Yeah.
Damn, you are correct.
All right, so it's a brief walk, like I said, a few hundred feet down the line. You could either fly there, you could get up on top of the rail. It appears the top of the rail itself is safe as long as you don't get into where the train actually hooks onto it, down beneath like a armor plating. And so
Clemens is happy to literally just walk.
Yeah, there you go. Plenty of time at this point. And it's not a far walk at all. And yes, the rail ends at a gate you can see down the way, sort of just a circle in the air that is just hovering there eternally. And from this angle, you can see into the circle and see a bit of what lies beyond. But that your perspective isn't great. And as you get closer, you're able to see more and more. But the train rail does not continue past the gate on your side of the gate. But on the other side of the gate, where the gate is leading, you can see the train rail ends at a station on that side of the gate. So you walk down the train rail, and then there's another short few hundred feet from there that you're able to enter the Panopticon's main train station. Once you're through the gate, you can see the Panopticon itself. You can see that where you have ended up is a location somewhere out on a different location on the surface of this planet. It is, you can see the horizon of gears all around you on different sides. It doesn't appear that you're anywhere deep within the inner workings of this place. And the sky above you looks all the same. You can still see the ring of gears in the sky, all of that. If you didn't know any better about gates and how far away this probably sent you, you would assume you were in a very similar location on the planet. But now you really have no idea where you are in relation to where you were before. Nearby the train station is a giant swirling tower. It's almost shaped like a pawn, if that makes some sense, in that it's very wide, and then it kind of swirls upwards with many different floors being placed at odd angles. I'm struggling to describe this perfectly, but it has sort of a swirl pattern to the way everything is arranged as it goes upwards to the top, and then the top has a large, almost like a crystal ball-like structure at the very top of it. And you can see inside that crystal ball, which is just glowing with light, 12 angels seated around a pool in the ground up there. They appear, the fact that you can see them from this far away means they are very large. But yeah, there appear to be 12 very powerful figures up there. You can see Modrons going about their business all around here. In the swirls of the tower all around, you can see Modrons scribbling on paper as they gaze into scrying pools or into crystal orbs. And yeah, all of their writing that they're doing is coming on like eternally rolling sheets of paper, and that paper is being pulled directly into other machines that are like sucking the paper up and moving along other different belts. And yeah, that's all you can see from the outside, but it appears there is a well-oiled machine of an operation happening in here that is gathering intelligence at an incredibly rapid pace from who knows how many different angles of reality. And there is a large gate out front, not a magical gate, but an actual physical gate that leads into the facility.
It looks all very fancy. I suppose we just walk right in the front gate there? We're not supposed to sneak in back or anything. This is ostensibly official and very normal business run, right?
I think so.
Yes, specifically.
Then I suppose away we go.
All right. So you get a little closer to the building, again, just walking along this pathway that leads from the train station to the tower. You can see that there is a reception desk just inside the front gate, and there is a Modron seated there, who is mostly looking through a very large book in front of them, flipping pages back and forth and scanning the pages and then jotting down notes and such. Very busy. Always busy.
I think we're here for a shift.
Oh. Yes, how can I help you? You're registered for a shift. Yes, we don't usually... Oh, hold on. We did just get an unusual order from earlier. And it flips through several more pages.
We might be under winds of change, the.
Yes. Winds of change, the. I think I have you over here. Yes, there you are. I was looking in the T's, but I should have been looking at the W's.
It's a very common mistake.
Yes, that does make sense. Yes, I have you right here. And he scribbles down something on a note, tucks that into one of the pages of the book, tears out another sheet of paper from something underneath his desk, and starts writing instructions on it for you all. And as he's writing, he starts telling you what you're here for. You're all scheduled here for 4 separate shifts, for 8 hours each. You will look into your scrying pools and write down what is noteworthy to you, and these papers will be fed into the great... they'll be fed up to the top of the Panopticon, to the Great Eye. Do you have any questions so far based on that, or is that clear enough?
I think that's clear. I guess I'd forgotten that we were taking different shifts. For some reason, I thought it was sort of an all, simultaneous sort of thing.
Oh, you'll be deployed to 4 completely different locations.
Oh, well, that's wonderful.
We would like
Yes, I
to
think
make as much use of your talents as we can.
That seems very straightforward then.
Thank you.
Very good. Here are your instructions, and he hands out a small paper with directions on where to go, where you'll find your spot that you're supposed to take, and so on. Some of them are closer to the front desk than others, but you're all able to find your ways based on that. Yeah. So, anything else you want to get done at the front desk, or should I just keep describing the panopticon here a little bit?
Were we told to do anything else at the front desk?
I don't think
By
so.
our patron, as it were.
Not that I recall. I think you're
Okay.
just told to essentially do the minimum job here that you could.
Clemens will ask if we get a shift lunch.
Ah, yes, you mortals do require this, don't you?
Yes, otherwise we die.
Was that in your contract?
I don't think it was.
I do not believe you get a shift lunch.
Thank you for your candor.
I can contact someone higher up about this if you are concerned, but based on the wording of the contract, if there is no shift lunch, then there is no shift lunch.
Note to self for next time.
Yep.
Make sure to include the shift lunch.
Yeah, this is you're on a plane of completely tireless robotic beings that work in well-oiled machines that never cease. That's not something they think about unless you include it yourself. Cool. So you're each able to find your way to the station that you'll be taking over. And as you walk, you can see more of the inner workings of the panopticon. You can see the sheets of paper that the Modrons are writing on are all being slurped up into these large machines that are sort of pulling on the sheets of paper, cutting them into smaller sections, rolling them up, and shoving them into pneumatic tubes. These pneumatic tubes all seem to feed up and into higher parts of the tower somewhere. Yeah. So that is the current situation. You'll find your way to a scrying pool, just a silver bowl on the ground filled with this perfectly still liquid, and into which you can see, if you kind of focus on it right, that it is liquid in the bowl. But it's almost like if there's a reflection on your screen or something, you can see that it's there, but you can also see what's on the screen. That's kind of what the scrying pool is like. You can see the image projected on it, but it's not perfectly clear. There's still the lights around you are causing glare and all of that. You look into the pool, and each of you has a vision of a different location for 8 hours. Can I get each of you to roll me a d12? Just for fun. As it says no bearing other than flavor, but could be fun.
Oh, it's the wrong
Oop,
icon.
that's
There's
Neko.
C12.
What does Neko see?
I don't know, but we're gonna find out.
All right. So let's start with Milos. You rolled the lowest number. That will make it easier for me. Milos, you see something I believe you have seen before. Correct me if I'm wrong. Because a long time ago, the artificers in our party, mostly, managed to see a couple visions by observing the Draconic Prophecy. One of you saw the Fey plane. The other of you saw the plane of fire. Right now, Milos, you're seeing the plane of fire. You look into this pool and you see the city of brass. You see the hustle and bustle of an incredibly industrious city that in a way reminds you of the place you're in now, where everything is made of either brass or gold. Everything is shiny and polished, but yet it's less pristine in a way. The city of brass is, again, the city of industry. It is the location with the most concentrated planar industrial magic. There are smokestacks everywhere, just belching smoke into the air. There's fire everywhere. Everything that cannot describe its function in terms of being productive has no place in this city. Things are either productive or they are like symbols of status and symbols of art or things like that. There's nothing that's just like little frilly details here. So it's got that a very particular philosophy to it. And You see everything from, again, constructs, yes, but very different than the ones you're around now. These ones appear to be built to harness the power of magma within themselves as they walk around. You see many different lizard-like creatures and elementals, earthen and fire elementals going about their business here. And yeah, I think that's a pretty good description of what Milo sees here. And again, it's not a culture you necessarily recognize here. They appear to be much more intense in their work than anything you've seen, except here on the plane of order. So there bears some similarity there. Any questions about that? Not that there will be, just if you have any flavor questions, really.
No questions. Oh, yeah, I'm not the. I didn't see it, so never
Yeah,
mind. Clemens definitely has
If
no
there's
questions.
anything Milos wants to keep an eye out for, I don't know.
I don't know. He'd probably keep an eye out for like the specific techniques that they used, if that was something he could see to, steal them for his own practical use. But
Yeah, fair enough. You see like wide scale automation mostly. Occasionally you'll see the earth elementals, mostly very high ranking Dao, performing art manually and going about either architecture or sculpting or various very physical, very metal based arts. But for the most part, everyone here has a job in some sort of factory or something. It's just massive at scale industry in this place. So while you don't necessarily see too many techniques that you could replicate by hand, you do notice some like, oh, that's a clever way they managed to automate that task, and okay, that streamlines that that line of work there. Okay, cool, things like that. If that makes some sense.
Yeah.
Cool. Going down the line, then we have Faye with number 4. This one's interesting because you guys were here. Faye, you roll back into the Eternal Dawn, Irian. You get to take a peek at what's happening over there, and most of what you see is, I think the Amaranthian City would make sense. If they're trying to gather information from anywhere, that would probably be the place. So Faye's experience here is rather pleasant, as you see, pleasant in a way, potentially boring, as you essentially just see people going about their very pleasant lives with no troubles throughout their day. It's it's like trying to watch a slice of life anime, except you're sitting through 8 hours of it straight, and there's no plot. And it's comfy, maybe a little boring at that point. I have 8 hours of it, but hey, you don't notice any like juicy details of any kind while you're there.
Halfway through, I'm definitely just like wishing someone would fight one another in there. Yeah.
You came upon the Endless 8.
Yes, the Endless 8, exactly. As everybody just goes through like very meaningless motions of their day, and it's like, oh, cool, this person's getting groceries, and this other person is just trimming the plants in their garden, or whatever. Nothing crazy. But do you have any specific questions about what's going on there?
No, I'm just vibing.
Just vibing. All right, love to see that. Let's see. Next on the list would be Clements. Clements with a 5. Clements, you were keeping an eye on the Churning Chaos, I3.
Ooh.
Which you've also been there, so that lines up pretty well. Let's see. In the Churning Chaos, you see a lot of flashes of images of Slod just dying in spectacular ways and being reborn again in spectacular ways. Clements witnesses empires rise and fall in the span of minutes, in the span of hours for the longer ones, as these Slods bicker and fight and find ways to inspire each other out of nowhere, only to be smashed between 2 very, very large rocks in the next moment. You also occasionally see, double checking the name of this place. Yes, you also see the monastery you landed on previously, Zertherin IV, which is that giant sort of pyramid structure with all the Zen gardens around it that helps harness the chaos. And you spoke with some people there. And again, they're just going about fairly ordinary stuff. as opposed to the Slod, who embody chaos. Those beings embody order and a last bastion of order against the chaos. So when you see them, it's like a relief from the relentless chaos for a moment as they go about their normal lives, doing some construction work and stuff and keeping the chaos at bay. But yeah. And then oh, sorry. I guess I'll ask Clemens. Any questions on that? Any specific
Clemens
things?
has no questions. She's just very entertained by the slugs.
Fair enough. And Carrick, you were assigned to witness Mabar, The Endless Night, another one you guys visited not too long ago. Indeed. And Carrick, you witness Lady Ilmaro amassing armies. You are in the Amaranthine City. You occasionally see the Land of Bones, where you passed over once as well, which was mostly ruins. Yeah, you just see her like traveling across the land in her giant form, and then she'll transform back into her own form and just reach a clawed hand out towards the ground and lift upwards as if she's lifting up something heavy, and suddenly corpses just rise from the ground out of nowhere and almost forming out of dark mist. She just keeps on creating endless armies. It appears she's preparing for something. Yeah, any questions on that? Or any other details you're interested in there?
Or is it just like she's amassing an army in that same place, or are they like all in one place, or are they trying to?
Yeah, good question.
Am I able to like figure out her purpose at all?
Sure, give me an investigation check, I guess, for piecing together details. It seems clear to you, at least, that she is creating an army for a purpose. It doesn't appear that this is like a routine, like strengthening the border or trying to just create defenses or anything. She keeps on like summoning up all these corpses and then using some kind of magic to like hide them away and like pocket them, basically, so they can be summoned later, as opposed to just letting them roam free and adding more chaos to the lands of darkness. It appears she is trying to amass more forces in order to strike somewhere, but she hasn't necessarily revealed where. And she's generating an army at an alarming rate. But the fact that she's already generated like multiple armies worth of undead at this point, essentially, and hasn't used them on anything means her target is probably quite large, or her goal is rather ambitious, you would gather. I think that's a fair answer to a 23.
Okay.
Yeah, so she's doing something. She's up to something, for sure. And now, can I get all of you to make me a perception check as you're watching over your pools for these few hours here? All right. Perception checks pretty good on average here. So I'll say, let's just treat this as a group check, and I'll say this is more successes than failures, so you all notice this. Even though you're in separate rooms, it just makes it easier.
Hey, are you seeing this?
Exactly. You can shout it out. All the other Modrons are very quiet and are just kind of silently writing, so it's whatever. Although you may attract attention from essentially the librarians of the place. Yeah, so you all notice, as you're watching over these plains, some things occasionally seem off. And not because you necessarily notice something sneaking around, although on occasion you do, just naturally about the going through the course of watching significant sections of the plain. If there's anyone who would be sneaking around, they're probably sneaking around. I think probably the only place where somebody isn't sneaking around is where Faye is looking in the Plane of Light.
Boring zone.
Yeah, the boring zone. Everywhere else, there's at least somebody sneaking around somewhere, you know? It just makes sense. But things just seem off, and it's almost like in a horror game where, you know, something seems off. Maybe there's like a glitchiness to the screen, right? Or something's like, that doesn't make sense. How is that there? And then it's also here. or little details that just don't add up in different places. And it's strange. You all notice this. It appears there's something that you could only really notice from this elevated position, looking over these sections of plane in rapid motion like this. But yeah, something is happening. Something is corrupting something or changing something constantly. It's like a being of great power has been unleashed somewhere, but you don't know what, or what their purpose is, or why the things you're seeing don't seem to make sense. They don't seem to add up to any purpose that anyone could be making. It's like seeing a street lamp that's in one place while you're watching, and then you see that same scene again later, and now there's 2 street lamps there. Like, what the fuck does that mean? Is something hiding as a street lamp? Like, things that just don't add up in any way. But it's unsettling. And I think that's all you really get out of it, is it's unsettling.
Indeed,
yeah.
Very spooky.
Something's going on. I think that's what you've picked up, and you probably gather this might be one of the things you were being told to hide here. So, yeah. Otherwise, your shifts pass uneventfully, unless any of you would want to make them eventful in one way or another.
No, that's spooky
All right.
though.
I've had enough eventful for today.
So, yes, your shifts end uneventfully, and at the end of them, you're technically free to go. Your contract has ended. However, right exactly at the last second of each of your shifts, a Modron approaches each of you all at the same time with a written scroll that they unroll and begin to read at you from. Each one of them is an invitation to the top of the Panopticon, as you were noticed there previously, and since you were sent here, and upper management has noticed that you've come here to work, they wanted to speak with you while you were here.
Does the anchor seem to be pointing in that direction?
The anchor indeed seems to be pointing in that direction.
All right, sounds good. Will my friends be going as well?
Yes, might
Indeed.
as well.
All 4 of you are required. Or requested. I forget that you mortals are free now.
I'm gonna look up thinking at the Modron thinking I'm still supposed to be working. You're gonna ask me this on the clock? I thought you wanted help.
The clock is, it looks down on a wristwatch on its arm. Done.
Oh. Okay. Yeah, sure, I guess.
Very well, right this way. So all 4 of you would be, unless anyone would resist, all 4 of you are led to a central, I guess you'd probably be just led up the spiral structure on the outside at first, but as you near the top, you're led into one of several elevators near the top. Again, very pneumatic tube-like, that lead higher up. And in these glass tubes, as you're rising up to the orb at the top of the Panopticon, you can see where all the other pneumatic tubes were leading. The tubes that had all of these words on papers written and shoved into and then sent along to somewhere. All of these lead into a massive machine, but it's no machine you've ever seen before. It is covered with eyes looking out in all directions, and it almost looks like a heart, and it kind of beats in a way. Like a heart with eyes, but made of gears and armor plates and stuff. And all these tubes just lead into it, just feeding information to it at all times. And as you pass up beyond it, you only see that briefly, and then you are in the top of the Panopticon, where there are 13 thrones with 12 angels. 1 throne is empty. These angels are absolutely massive, and they're almost hard to look at. They glow with so much bright energy. They are, you can kind of see at the edges of them, or once your eyes start to adjust to the light a little bit, you can see they are mechanical angels, much like the other ones you've seen here, but these ones look ready for battle. These are not artistically designed angels that look like statues. These are covered with armor. They have massive swords that are glowing with light, even brighter than the light on their bodies. And they're all very imposing, strong-looking figures. They're all also pretty much identical. And as you step off of your elevators, all at the same time, as the elevators reach the top, the Modrons retreat back into the tubes. Tubes go back down. The floor closes up over the elevators, and you are left at the foot of this massive crystal chamber that you're sitting within. I say sitting, there's no chairs for you. You're standing within. And these figures are, I mean, they've got to be hundreds of feet tall each. They're very large boys. And they all speak out to you with one voice. Champions, we have foreseen your arrival.
Greetings.
Yep.
We are quite
Thank you.
famous. Not terribly surprised. Thank you for the welcome.
We take it you are here to fulfill the prophecy. This is not something we take lightly, as we do not usually care about such prophecies. But this one is important enough.
Maybe if it was this important, you might have sent a letter while we were sitting in jail and trying to explain to the good judge that it was very important that we get to the whole prophecy business.
We had foreseen that everything would be okay, that you would arrive here, and after your work was completed, there would still be time for you to complete your duties, as according to the prophecy.
Well, that's good, I guess. I guess it is all behind us now. Not much to complain about.
We are the Panopticon, the true heads of the Panopticon. And as you can see, one of us is missing, as all of them in unison gesture towards the empty throne, which is in the middle. So on both sides, half of them raise their right hand, half of them raise their left hand in order to gesture towards it. Each of us gazes upon a plane, and each of us intervenes if anything would be too disruptive in these locations. Only the great powers of each plane may call upon us, and at all times we ponder the future. We have seen that grave times are ahead of you. We would like to offer our assistance. Our missing
so?
member is of Dalcor, the region of dreams. They have been missing for many eons. We will grant you the authority to call upon them when you arrive, but you may only call upon them once. Choose your moment carefully.
Well, thank you very much. Is there a reason you haven't sent somebody looking for them before now, if they could be called upon just like that?
We cannot reach them. It is by the prophecy that you are currently fulfilling that anyone will be able to reach them.
I suppose that makes sense, as much as any of this makes sense.
And until you complete the prophecy in its entirety, you will not be able to reach them normally. You will only be able to reach them once you are within the region of dreams. Be warned, they have been in the region of dreams for a long time. They may not be as we once knew them. They will answer your call for aid, for they are bound to this, but they may not answer it in the way you expect.
So I'm sure whatever happens will be all according to the prophecy and whatever, so I don't suppose there's much reason to ruminate over it now.
What is their name?
We have no names. Each of us is simply the panopticon of a plane. They are the panopticon of Dalcor. One of them on the right speaks out. I am the panopticon of Thalanis. Each one of these other members is the panopticon of a specific plane. And then they return to speaking in unison. We cannot predict the future of Dalcor, as we do not have access to the panopticon of Dalcor. We cannot offer you further aid than this, though we wish it were not so.
But it seems like pretty good aid, so thank you nonetheless. I have to imagine it would be quite useful when it's needed.
The angels have gone mostly silent at this point. It seems that they've said most of what they wanted to say, unless you have specific questions for them.
Clemens has no questions.
Does that mean you're allowing us to freely stabilize the plane?
That is correct. The plane must be stabilized. It is time.
Thank you.
Very well. As he'll pull out the anchor and walk over to where it's pointing.
All right. So the anchor is pointing to the middle of the room currently. This place, this panopticon, is sort of the one place in all of the plane of order that basically transcends order to predict the future based only on order and on nothing else. These beings have no powers of foresight of their own. They merely interpolate data. And as the absolute peak of data processing on the plane of order, this is the place. So you raise up the anchor. It begins to spin, shine light in the room that grows even brighter than the angels above. And then, strangely, unlike all the other planes you've been on, nothing seems to happen here. The anchor locks into place. It appears to have worked. But the schedule of this place, all of that does not seem to change. There's no sudden suppression of the magic here.
It's already so damn stable.
It's extremely stable. And
What a sturdy plane.
they were prepared for it to shift in position.
I still glance at Carrick and I'm like, hey, did that shit work?
I think so. It seems everything else seems in line with what we usually see.
We have adapted the plane so that the plane itself would not be affected, but the effects of order on other planes would be shifted instead. You should know this when traveling now.
That's pretty handy. You guys must be pretty powerful.
We should have come here first.
I don't think we could have.
Eh.
If only it were possible.
Hey, bravo. Either way, I'm impressed.
Well, I guess with that, this is the final plane. I guess we can head home now, right?
Oh no.
Right?
We've got
So
one more plane, don't we?
Another one.
The angels all tilt back into place, having finished the conversation. They just begin like rapid eye movement. Their eyelids are not closed, but their eyes are just flicking around in all directions like they're seeing infinite visions and trying to keep up with it all.
All right, I guess it's just us now.
Yep. So this was indeed your last plane until we rejoin as a group. You've stabilized all 6. There is one more remaining. So you'll have to wait for the other group before you can head into that one. I mean, technically you could go there now and hope the other people catch up with you, but
I
might
bet
be
that would be
tricky.
an interesting experience.
Fortunately for you all, if you would like to go home, the Prime Gate has the possibility to travel to any plane. So you could just take a ticket to the material plane, for example. That would be possible. But yeah, we're a little early tonight, so I'll also say one thing the other party managed to accomplish, which you'd have some access to, is they got essentially infinite money. So if any of you want to do any downtime stuff, they found the infinite money glitch, and yeah, more specifically, they're in the Fey plane currently, and Eberron's Fey plane is pretty much obsessed with fairy tales. It is all about fairy tales, and I had them essentially go through Jack and the Beanstalk, and they got out with the golden goose. So you guys just have a golden goose for your party.
Nice.
Which can just continually lay you golden eggs and just spawn infinite money. So this is your chance to do any of the final preparations, anything you wanted to craft that you hadn't managed to craft yet. As we're going into what is definitely the final arc of the campaign, this is the part in the JRPG where it says there's no turning back past this point. Please make sure you're prepared. All of that.
Several cutscenes will play in sequence.
Several cutscenes will play in sequence. Exactly. Buckle up. So yeah, if there's anything you guys want to get done, any upgrades, any items you want to buy, we could handle that now potentially. Or if you just want to describe some of the time of what you're doing before the other party gets back.
I'm buying so many bowls.
Fair enough.
It's bowl time.
We'll
entering
just
my bowl era.
how about you just we'll just assume Faye has enough bowls to just pop it daily at this point. I think that makes sense.
Yeah.
We won't necessarily track it anymore.
I think one thing, if I recall correctly, I had mentioned wanting to see if it was possible to merge the 3 tablets into one. And I think you said maybe after all of the planes were aligned, it might be possible.
Oh, right. Okay. That's pretty fair. Yeah, since you would have greater knowledge of the planes at this point, the magic would be more stable. Yeah. Yeah, let's just go with yes on that one. It's fine. You're level 20. This is the end of the campaign. I might as well let you just squash some items together, especially when they essentially are fluff items at this point. So yeah, so you can merge those all into one.
Oh, sick.
I would like to upgrade my armor if possible, and also I want to try to get my hands on as many arrows of slaying as possible. I know that may be tricky. I imagine they're not terribly easy to come by, but I'd like to try.
All right, arrows of
Specifically
slaying.
arrows of fiend slaying, but like if we have all the funds in the world, Clemens would really try to get her hands on like all the different ones that she can, because we really have no idea what we're gonna be fighting.
Yeah, that's fair. Cool. Okay. Arrows of slaying. That makes sense. I suppose the main limit there would be like how many can you carry if you have infinite money.
Right. I can also offload a little bit of my inventory to make space for that. And I would also like to see how much of an upgrade I can get to the half plate that I'm wearing without going to straight up a magical item.
Oh, to an attuned item?
Right.
Okay. That's fair. Let's see. So an arrow of slaying. Yes, there are a lot of creature types.
Right.
But that is a good point.
Fiend would be the priority.
Fiend is a priority. Okay.
I highly doubt they have arrows of dragon slaying in this universe.
There's all kinds of arrows of slaying, but yeah. Let's see, and certainly your artificer friends could probably help make stuff if need be.
Yes.
Let's say just to limit it somewhat there, you'll have 5 arrows of slaying of whatever of each monster type, but 10 of fiend.
Cool, thank you very
so
much.
you have a big bundle of those. Cool. Let's see. The other thing you wanted was armor.
Yes.
I don't believe armor that is simply a plus bonus is attunement. So you could potentially just do that. Think
Now, I've ever looked at it before. What's the lowdown on adamantine armor?
adamantine armor, it prevents criticals against you, I believe.
But
I
it
think
is
that's
a
in
magic item,
Xanthos.
is that correct?
Adamantine armor, yes. So I don't think you could get a magic bonus to it because it is already magic. But yes, you cannot be critical hit while wearing it.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Otherwise, it's normal armor. Mithril armor is normal armor, but it doesn't impose a stealth disadvantage if it would have. I think it's lighter in weight too. Yeah.
I think I'd rather crit immunity over just flat higher AC.
All right.
Because I can already cheat that a little bit with Arcane Surge.
So Clemens upgrades to adamantine.
Woo!
While I'm thinking of it too, as happened last time, you completed 3 more planes, so everybody gets either an epic boon or an ASI or a feat, one of the 3.
Thank you.
Oh, hell yes.
Another
some
one.
plenty
Oh
stuff.
shit.
Yep. Oh, this is the last one you're getting, so make the choice carefully. But yes,
Ooh.
this is the final time to upgrade before the big shit. Yeah, so that's good to keep in mind.
Indeed.
Yeah, armor upgrades, weapon upgrades, any other things you'd want to prepare, have on hand.
I don't think I need anything. I'm kind of just doing my thing.
All right.
Yeah, I kind of feel the same.
I
More
knew
rum,
Much in the
definitely
way of
more
gear.
rum.
Absolutely.
I know I had thoughts, but I don't remember what they were, and I need to find my crafting.
That's
trap.
okay. We can figure it out between sessions too. I just since we were early, I wanted to offer time while we were still here. Does Clemens have like just a flask of infinite rum yet? Because if not, we could do that.
She does not, I don't think. I think she's just
Ooh.
been kind of buying it from wherever we happen to stop in.
Is that
She has an
part
ever
of,
room temperature flask.
There we go. Does is buying the rum part of the fun for Clemens, or would she just like a flask? Of
I do
infinite
think
rum?
so, yeah.
Okay.
I think the sampling, the different venues is supplies, and it's kind of a hobby.
Makes sense. Absolutely. So you can still have that perfect temperature flask, but otherwise, yeah,
Yeah.
plenty of supply.
Ooh, actually, no. You've given me inspiration because Faye's more of a beer gal. I would like to spend my time in the spirit of my harvest connection with ROI. I just
Ah.
want to get an infinite like a yellow horn looking thing, like a horn, not
Ooh.
the Destiny rocket launcher,
Yeah.
like the actual horn, and actually, well, now I'm thinking it's
No, that's
sipping
what I
out of the
have.
fucking barrel of a rocket launcher, and I like that too. But just that has just infinitely refills with high quality ale.
Perfect.
This is
Absolutely.
my goal for myself.
Yeah, so that is already like a canon D&D item. It's just but it's normally a mug of infinite ale, but somebody could absolutely craft you one that is like just a big horn. It's just infinite high quality dwarven ale. So there you go.
God.
The good stuff.
I will go out happy if I die.
That's the spirit. Or the beer in this case.
Oh,
Damn, that was a good joke. I liked it.
I guess I can also just drop this in the chat for anyone who wants to look at the epic boons. There's an easy link.
Thank you.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna peruse that.
There's a German crusted bowl 99.
Once if you did the rum thing though, I was gonna insist that you call it the rum tum tugger.
Oh.
Holy shit! Really close.
Damn.
I couldn't let that go. We have fun here.
Can I
That's what
get
you
a
could call my
flask of
pirate
it?
ship.
Can I get a flask of infinite rum just so I can have that name? For
Sure,
it?
absolutely.
Hell yeah! I don't even drink that much rum.
We can have fun moments where Clemens will scoff at Milos's mass-produced rum versus Clemens'
Yes.
artisan shit. Yeah.
The craft rum, which was, made in a guy's bathtub, but
Yes.
that just adds to the charm. Don't ask how you distilled something in a bathtub. It's not
It's
important.
magic, you know.
Magic.
Oh, dear.
Anybody got their eye on any epic boons?
I don't know.
It's a very hard decision.
I know. There's a lot.
I had a hard time deciding last time we got
Yeah,
one.
last time I did the level 9 thing,
Mm.
I feel like if I take Boon of Immortality, I'm asking myself to fucking die in combat.
I know, I'm leaning towards that one as well.
I think yeah, Drost has that one as well, just because it's a good flavor pick.
I'm trying to think if there's anything fun I could do with Boon of Quick Casting. Since I'm usually using my action for just making attacks.
True.
I mean, you could always stick it on haste and then take 3 actions in the same turn that you haste. Three attacks.
Oh, wait.
So true.
Single action intensive transformation. Or bonus action transformation. So you could
It's only a 3rd level or lower.
Oh.
I could pulse wave to make space and then just start blasting. That'd be a real assertion of dominance.
True.
Bonus action haste is kind of nice.
I don't
Bonus
have
action
haste.
thunderstep just to be like, who needs Misty Step now?
I was thinking that. I was thinking point blank ball lightning and then blasting arrows at anything that survives, at disadvantage, but you got to make a spectacle. Or I could just give myself 25% more HP. That could always be fun.
We could just be cheeky and take Boon of Recovery, so I could now use
Ooh.
2 bonus actions to recover half of
Ooh.
my hit points.
True.
Boon of Recovery is great. That's what I took last level. Or
That's
last
kind of
boon.
what I'm leaning towards, yeah.
Yeah, my second wind really doesn't do anything for my healing in a meaningful way. That would actually give me a decent self-heal.
Yeah, I do like Second Wind. It's like what, on average, 1/10 of your hit points. It's not that much, but it can help a little bit.
It would be good if I hadn't just shunted all those fighter levels.
Oh, true. Yeah, it's like nothing at this point. You're right. Yeah,
Yeah, take Boon
fighter
of Recovery.
8. It's
I gave up fighter level so I could be a better fighter as a wizard.
That's kind of how it goes, unfortunately, in 5e. The more caster levels the more caster levels you have, the more betterer you are.
Sag. True sight is tempting.
So I have it in the shortcuts. Can I just add another use of unearthly recovery? It's the same thing.
What if we all
Oh,
just
yeah,
take
that makes sense. Yeah.
undetectability just to give the middle finger to the Panopticon?
Nakarth has that one, so that would be funny.
Nice.
Nakarth rolled a 45 on stealth the other day.
Holy shit.
I think that's just ceasing to exist.
Yeah.
At that point. You've stealthed too far. You're gone now.
You stealthed too close to the sun.
We've made it a meme at this point that Nakarth only actually like exists on the playing field when he's like speaking. Like, like if he's speaking to somebody, just shows up behind them like, yeah, what the fuck? And then he goes away again.
He is what Drax wishes he was.
The passive 35 stealth. Like, jeez.
Holy shit.
Accidentally typed boof of recovery.
Oh
Jesus
no.
Christ.
That's the other name of the Rum
Oh,
Tum
yeah.
Tugger.
Oh, no.
Oh yeah.
Oh yes.
Oh, fucking phenomenal. Wow, thank you for that. Oh no. I'm dying.
I think Boon of Speed is also interesting. Just because, I mean, increasing your speed by 30 feet, already good, especially for those of you
It's
who
pretty
like
good.
to fly and haste all over the place at, breaking the sound barrier speeds. But dash and disengage as a bonus action is also just helpful.
Yes,
I wish it
is.
were infinite instead of once per short rest, but hey, when it helps, it helps.
You can tell busted.
What if I just what if I just Misty stepped though?
True. Yeah, true. This will get you more than twice as far, though, I think. Well, depending on
Ooh,
if your
yeah.
other speed increases.
I mean, boon of dimensional travel. You can
Yep.
Misty Step without using a spell slot.
Once per short rest.
Oh, it's a short rest.
I think it's
It's
per short
criminal.
rest.
That's not just like at rest, at
It
will.
should be.
Actually, it's no, that's bad. It's bad. It says as an action you can cast the Misty Step spell.
That's so
It's
bad.
so bad.
Epic boo.
That's so epic.
It's to let the fighter be a spellcaster too. Sometimes.
Well, don't worry. Right above it is you can turn one miss per short rest into a hit on a melee weapon attack.
I can do that with my uncommon item.
Exactly. Yeah.
Then like another one is like
5e
you cannot
is
die.
absolutely cracked.
Yeah.
What the hell, man? That is silly.
I like how they admitted.
Or you gain a 9th level spell slot.
Yep. I love how in the recent
Balance.
D&D creator summit, whatever the fuck, they just admitted publicly, yeah, no, CR is absolutely bullshit and it doesn't work and like it never has
Yeah.
worked, but we just keep throwing numbers out there. Oh, cool. But yeah, well, we could have
Thank
told
you.
you that, but I'm glad that you finally have just said it,
Yeah.
Yeah.
We had a social contract and you just broke it. We were all gonna just pretend that not to talk about it.
We weren't saying anything if you weren't saying anything, but now you just had to say something.
Oh, we were saying something. All right. I think unless anyone wants to get anything out in the session, then we might end a little early tonight.
I don't think I've got
All
anything
right.
more to do.
No, I think I'm good.
All right. Well, thank you all for joining me. I think the other team will be able to finish on Friday. If they're not, we may skip next week.
Okay.
Because otherwise, this group will be continuing on Mondays with the other group being folded into this group on Mondays again.
Cool.
So, yeah, I'll keep everyone posted on that. But hopefully, they'll do it in one session and we'll be good to go from there. But
Yeah.
all right.
Thank you very much
Thanks
for
for
running,
running.
Jordan. This was a
Thanks
great
for
session.
running.
Yeah, great
Thank
stuff.
you. Yeah, thanks for joining. I'll catch you guys later.